Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Suman Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome you all once again to the ISKCON New York City virtual Sunday Feast lecture. Today we are very fortunate to have with us His Grace Prāṇa Govinda Prabhu from Alachua, and Prabhuji will be giving a lecture on a very beautiful topic. Are we actually using Krishna or loving Krishna? So all of you who have joined today knows Prabhuji, and therefore I'll ask Prabhuji to start with a short kirtan till other participants join, and then we can have the class. My humble obeisances to Jayadvait Maharaj who has joined this lecture. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare
All glories to
Krishna.
Prabhupada, all glories to you.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, and glories to you also. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I missed you. We miss you in Alachua.
You're not missing much. Anyway,
we love you, Maharaj.
I'm thinking I may come down there. Let's see what Krishna has in mind.
Sure, please let me know.
Okay.
We'll be happy.
You'll be happy anyway. Let's see what Krishna has in mind. Okay, Kirtan.
So I have posted the link on chat. This session is currently being live on YouTube. It's called New York TV channel. So if anyone is interested, can log in through YouTube also. Thank you. So Prabhuji, if I am right, the lecture will go till 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And then we'll have a session for question answers.
I feel like I would love to hear from Jayadvaita Maharaj instead of me giving the class.
Too bad.
Maharaj, but I remember your merciful instruction many years back you said we had a little discussion before I gave class in temple, and you said, yeah, take advantage, because if you go off, we will correct you. So with that notes, that I want to be corrected by a great soul, that you are my hero, Maharaj. You are one of my hero. I adore you. ISKCON is moving because great soul like you are like a big, big pillar holding
I'm more like zero than hero, but anyway.
it. You're so humble, Maharaj. So with your blessing and Srila Prabhupada and all the devotees, I'll sing just a couple minutes.
Good.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja.
Prabhuji, sorry, you have to unmute yourself. Can you click on the unmute button? Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, you are unmuted. Can you click on the unmute button?
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Banachari, Yamuna Tira Banachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj ki jai. Samavata Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Radharani ki jai. Panchatattva Bhagavan ki jai. Purnitay Shri Shri Radha Shyama Sundar Krishna Balaram Bhagavan ki jai. Radha Govinda Jiv ki jai. Nitai Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Shiva and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So today I'm going to read the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, text 33, and then we'll discuss this topic. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirat nasta prayasya abhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistaki. So the word meaning, and then we'll recite the sloka. Tasmat, therefore, tvam, you, uttishtata, get up, jasa, fame, lavhisya, gain, jitva, conquering, shatrun, enemies, bhungsha, enjoy, rajyam, kingdom, samriddham, flourishing, maya, by me, eva, certainly, ete, all these, nihata, killed, purvam eva, by previous arrangement, nimitta matram, just the cause, bhava, become, sabba sachin, O sabba sachin. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies, enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabbasachi, can put an instrument, can be but an instrument in the fight. Purport. Sabbasachi refer to one who can shoot arrows very expertly in the field. Thus, Arjuna is addressed as an expert warrior capable of delivering arrows to kill his enemies. Just become an instrument, nimitta matram. This word is also very significant. The whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish person who do not have sufficient knowledge think that nature is moving without a plan. And all manifestations are but accidental formation. There are many so-called scientists who suggest that perhaps it was like this, maybe like that, but there is no question of perhaps or maybe, and maybe. There is a specific plan being carried out in this material world. What is this plan? This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned soul to go back to Godhead, back to home. As long as they have domineering mentality, which makes them try to lord it over material nature, they are conditioned. But anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. The creation and destruction of the cosmic manifestation are under the superior guidance of God. Thus, the battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of God. Arjuna was refusing to fight, but he was told that he should fight in accordance with the desire of the Supreme Lord. Then he would be happy. If one is in full Krishna consciousness, then his life is devoted to the Lord's transcendental service. It's perfect. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Panchakalpataruvesya Kripa Sindhavaya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Binda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So in this sloka, few things strikes immediately, that what will happen, the result of the battlefield is already revealed to Arjuna before even battle began. So in other words, we can relate to this also in our day-to-day life, in our material conditional life as a trying to be a devotee. That ultimate result of our devotional practice, it's already done by Krishna, sanctioned by Krishna. Only thing he's seeking is our endeavor. In Arjuna's case, in the battlefield, all those people are already put to death by Krishna. What he needs to teach a Bhagavad Gita for, and why he is trying to encourage Arjuna to fight. This is where we come, the similar pattern, we can say. I mean, if you think very deeply this verse, you will see that some people think that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to pursue Arjuna to fight for establishing what is right, what is dharma, what is religious right. But this sloka reveals that the opponents of dharma were already neutralized by Krishna's arrangement. Isn't? We just read. Arjuna just had to become an instrument in that arrangement. So if Krishna had beforehand secured the result, then why did he speak Gita to Arjuna? Because he wanted to instruct Arjuna, and through Arjuna, Prabhupada in another purport, he says, for all of us, about the art of working in devotional consciousness. This purport also explains that the result of our work are not solely in our hands. Just like Krishna already put them into death. So similarly, you can say the result are shaped by the factors beyond our control. Factors that are ultimately under Krishna's control. When Krishna desires a particular result, he can arrange for it by his omnipotence, but he does not need us for that. But we need to connect with him if we are to realize our longing for lasting love and joy as his eternal parts, servant. We can connect with Krishna by working in a mood of loving service to him and offering him our consciousness through our endeavor on his behalf. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Prithivite ache jata nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoive mor naam. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already predicted that this Sankirtan movement will be all over the world. His name will be spread every town and village. So interestingly, one of Prabhupada's disciples, Achyutananda Prabhu, he remembers a story that he had a conversation with one Gauriya Sannyasi one time, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted this and Srila Prabhupada has fulfilled. So that Sannyasi said that since Mahaprabhu predicted, Mahaprabhu could have done. So Achyutananda Prabhu, at that time sannyasi, he mentioned to Prabhupada that Mahaprabhu could have done. Why does he need our endeavor to fulfill Mahaprabhu's prediction to come true? Then Prabhupada replied something like that, yes, but he wants, just like Krishna wanted Arjuna to take the credit, even though Krishna already put them to death. Similarly, Krishna wanted me to take the credit. Generally, Prabhupada is very humble. He doesn't say so much. He always gives credit to his Guru Maharaj. That's the sign of extreme humility, and that's true. But Prabhupada at that time, he said, Krishna wanted. So similarly, similar things, like when one Indian gentleman told to Prabhupada that the way you are preaching and convincing people, you are glorifying these 12 Mahajan in the class, but I think you are number 13, Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, oh, thank you. And if you think like this, why don't you follow and do also your part? And then you can become 14, number 14. So in other words, Prabhupada always encourages us to do our part as he did his part. As Arjuna, Krishna is convincing Arjuna to do his part. But of course, not everybody is understanding, as Prabhupada said in the purport, not everybody understanding the complete Krishna conscious philosophy. So their dedication is tainted with self-interest. And most of the time, or not most, I would say many times, they would use Krishna to get things they want in life. As Prabhupada said, man proposes, God disposes. We all have dreams. We make plan accordingly. This is my observation. I see in my own life. I reflect, and lots of my friends, material friend, devotee friend, we envision our long life going along a smooth line leading to destination, happiness, with happiness being equated with the fulfillment of our dreams. But we forget, however, life rarely goes the way we plan. Factors beyond our control disrupt things. If we ascribe those disruptive factors beyond our control, ultimately to the supreme divinity, then we could say that God has disposed the plan we had proposed. But does God really laugh when we make plans? We had a discussion one time in the class here in Alachua temple. Is Krishna a sadist who delights in disrupting our plans? Certainly not. The point of Krishna's laughter is subtle and non-literal. To appreciate that point, we need to understand that our perspective is very limited. So limited, in fact, that our plans often involve such a huge degree of presumption that it makes those in the knowledge of things laugh indulgently. And a good example, I remember we went to Laguna Beach a few decades back on a Gaur Purnima. They celebrate generally after the Gaur Purnima. They have a special Gaur Purnima festival in Laguna Beach, and many senior devotees, sannyasis, they come also. I don't think this year happened. But anyway, so I remember we were talking, and there was a family nearby, and one small girl, she was building a sand castle. And Mukunda Maharaj was there. Was very interesting. That Mukunda Maharaj, we were just watching and we're talking about it. How just like this girl building a sandcastle, that's how the materialistic big people, they may think they're big. They're just like that girl who's building a sandcastle. And she told her parents that her dream prince will come on in shining armor on a white horse and live with her in that castle. The parents laugh, not sadistically, but indulgently at the child's grandiose imagination associated with the sandcastle. Similarly, when we make our plan in this temporary material world, where everything is swept away by the tides of time, we are afraid of this COVID-19. Why? Because we see that it can just destroy our existence. Of course, soul is eternal, but people are not focusing on the eternal soul. They're focusing on the body. So obviously, the fear has to be there. Even our best laid plans can be seen to be not much difference from the child's fantasies about the sandcastle. Seeing the grandiosity of our plan, yes, Krishna laughed, not sadistically, but indulgently. The key illusion that we need to counter is the notion that we are controllers who can make the world bend to our plans. However, countering this illusion does not have to be disempowering, implying that we have no control or utterly helpless. We are parts of God, and as He is supreme controller, we are His parts and controller in our own small right. Like there could be a bad weather, we don't have any control on it. But while we are driving, we have a control how we drive and what we think, what we feel, what we talk. So in a smaller scale, we also control in our own small right. Just as parts are meant to work in harmony with the whole, we are meant to use our capacity to control in harmony with His plan, with Krishna's plan. Those who are devoted to Krishna or God make plans, and they do so in a mood of service without becoming attached to their plans. This is the key point. Their attachment is not the plan, is to God, not to their plans. If a particular plan of theirs get disrupted, they may be temporarily perplexed, not being sure what to do, but they don't become disheartened, thinking that nothing is worth doing. We see in our movement, there are so many sincere, stalwart, big pusher of this movement, Prabhupada's movement, that they feel this. When you converse with them, they talk like this, and that's how they experience this. They soon regains their perspective, focus on their ultimate plan of serving the Krishna, Lord. Find some other practical way of continuing their service to Him. Why? Because they want to move closer to Him, closer to Prabhupada, closer to Krishna. And Prabhupada's philosophy that Prabhupada gave, it explains that we are meant for something much bigger than this world. Just as a child needs to grow up and learn more constructive engagement, we too need to grow up spiritually and learn more constructive engagement. Whereas the child needs to stop building sandcastle, we don't need to stop our endeavor in material life. We need to redirect our consciousness from this world to Krishna and invest our emotions, feelings, primarily in Krishna. So with our consciousness, when we invest this way, we can see the world as an arena of contributing in a mood of service according to our talents and interests. If our life's overall plan is to serve our Lord, then that plan makes Krishna smile with joy. And this is what this purport Prabhupada indicates, that was to inspire Arjuna to harmonize his plan with Krishna's plan. And you will see end of Bhagavad Gita 1873, Arjuna finally came to conclusion. Nasto mohosmiti lobdha prasadad maya uchyate stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. Karishye vachanam tava. I will act with the plan you want me to act. Arjuna did make daily plan for tackling various enemy commanders, and Krishna aided and guided him in executing those plans. Arjuna's diligence in doing his service, in planning it intelligently and executing it pragmatically, and made Krishna actually smile in satisfaction. This is we need to understand. Just as parents already have a home in which the child can live happy with them, Krishna also has a home for us in his personal abode where we can live happily with him. When we grow up spiritually, redirect our life's endeavor for his pleasure, for our purification, then we can function in this world effectively, but without excessive emotional entanglement. When we live devoted to him, make him our goal, then on leaving our body at the end of our life, we attain the eternal abode, Golok Vrindavan. And thus seeing the return of our prodigal child, Krishna loves in joy. In this process, sometimes we find three types of practitioners in our movement. This is just my observation. One, think this world is the philosophy of grapes are sour. They have a desire to enjoy, but they don't get enough, or it's so struggle. So they kind of give up, but they give up with the frustration. And that's little risky to stay focused in our spiritual progression. Then there is another kind of devotee who actually just focus on the philosophy, knowledge, and they're very strict discipline, which is good. And they do relish some kind of Brahmananda connection, but sometimes they are not so much aggressive in preaching, distribution, because bhakti, as it progresses, it causes the heart of the devotee to be kind to other living being. But they haven't focused so much on the bhakti, instead of they're just focused on their life in relation to bhakti and not completely developed an attachment to Krishna. So that comes to the third category, who actually has a love for the Lord, and they actually relish. Materially, maybe they're not so healthy, or they're not so much taking care of themselves, but spiritually they're very happy. As long as they are here, they actually benefit to the world and it pleases also Krishna. And soon after that, they go back home, real home. We have to remember, in our practice, if we hide ourselves from the Lord, Krishna also will hide himself from us. Remember the story many decades back, I read that the first meeting of Hanumanji with Lord Ram. So Hanumanji, he was with Sugriv, and in their, there's a long story, but the essence point is that when Hanumanji, he was a devotee, he's eternal associate of the Lord, but when he came to this world and lived in Kṛṣṇa jungle kingdom of the monkeys, when he first was introduced to check out these two visitors coming this way, he disguised himself as a Brahmana. Now, when he disguised as a Brahmana, and after the whole episode took place that he met the Lord and Hanumanji finally understood this is his Ishtadev, object of worship, object of love is Ram. And he had a little bit disturbance in his heart. Say, why I am a devotee of Ram, whole life I'm chanting Ram's name, but when I finally meet, I could not recognize him. So then he asked the Lord, and Lord also told him that when you came, you didn't come as my devotee. You came as an examiner, tester. You want to find out who I am. But if you would have come as a devotee of Ram, then I would not be able to hide from you. I would reveal as a Ram. But you hiding as some foreigner or some suspicious investigator. So I also hid myself. So in our devotional path, if we are very sincere, honest, thoroughly, then Krishna will reveal. He will not hide from us. So when we continue with the external simply to cover up the internal, I'm not trying to bring the external and internal to harmony, then I become hypocritical. Rather, I cover that up so that I can continue the internal. And so sometimes this difference between the external and internal is healthy things, because that is what culture is about. As I mentioned, Prabhupada says, man proposes, God disposes. Is a familiar comment. It is saying by which we try to philosophize when factors beyond our control foil our best plans. And this is very important. Sometimes most people we see tackle this dilemma by trying to increase their ability to control things. They think that acquiring wealth, power, knowledge, fame, beauty, you can go on the list, even renunciation will help. But do these really solve the problem? They seem to give us control over our lives and surroundings, but they themselves are beyond our control. I'll give you an example. A wealthy person imagines that his monetary power gives him control over his life. So wants to increase his wealth unlimitedly. Today Shesha Prabhu gave class and he mentioned, I did not know this part of Sultan of Brunei near Indonesia, a small island. It's one of the richest country-wise. It's a small but richest. He is the richest man, one of the richest men in the world. And just to maintain and increase his happiness, he has a 5,600 cars, just the cars. And while Shesha Prabhu was calculating, I was calculating, if he wants to ride one car a day, it will take almost 16, 17 years just to find his new car, another car, just the amount of the car he has. And if you wonder, like in your house, how many shower or bathroom you have, he has a 274 bathroom, lavishly, you know, all this marble, granite, you can imagine with gold. And what for? Is he happy? That's the question. No, that's why it keeps on increasing more. But the idea is they think by increasing more and more. Now, when we become devotee, we have to be very careful. We are not gross bodies or subtle minds, but our eternal soul. As Krishna very nicely in 7th chapter explained this. Aparayam ittastu prakritim viddhi me param jiva bhuto. Therefore, the suffering caused by the mind, the body, and their extension, relatives, friends, possession, position, no matter how devastating, do not deprive us of our essential spiritual identity and purpose in life. To revive our loving relationship with Krishna, we have a changeless, blissful core that no reverses can take away. Knowing that is a source of tremendous solace and strength when everything around us seems to be failing apart. Krishna is our Supreme Father, Aham Bija Prado Pita. In 14.4, Krishna claimed. He loves all of us, even when we spurn his love or deny his existence. The practical sign of his selfless, causeless love is that he creates and maintains everything we wayward children needs to enjoy material happiness. He provides all the universal necessity, such as heat, cold. He keeps our body functioning, such as digestion. He gives us inspiration, intelligence to enjoy life according to our desire. Thus the Lord is our supreme well-wisher and supporter. Universal law of action and reaction govern all events in the material world. Reversal come upon us not by cruel chance, but by our own past misdeeds in either this or earlier lives. To accept the law of karma is not fatalistic, creating feelings of helplessness and impotence, as some people say nowadays, nor is it psychologically damaging, creating haunting feelings of guilt, as others allege. Rather, a mature understanding of the impartial law of karma is empowering. It confirms that we do have some control over our lives. By harmonizing with the universal law of action, as explained in the Prabhupada's purport, one of the purport, we have the power to create a bright future for ourselves, no matter how bleak the present may seem. Today, COVID-19, tomorrow something else, coronavirus, there's always some problem. If you look at the history of the world since beginning of creation, Dukkhalaya Masashvatam means this world will have always some trouble. So what we should do after hearing Krishna's message? What did Arjuna do? Arjuna realized that Krishna was not urging him to fight the war for petty personal gain. Rather, Krishna was giving him the privilege, opportunity to play a crucial role in a divine plan. He could help re-establish order and harmony in human society. He could destroy antisocial elements who had grabbed power. Hence, his actually fighting was necessary and beneficial service to God and to all living beings as the children of God. And he realized that all the assembled warriors, including his loved ones, were eternal souls. They would continue to live after their bodily death, and by dying in the presence of the supreme pure Lord Krishna, they would be purified of their sinful mentality and would again attain the spiritual freedom. So we can apply in our own life and see where we are. The Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita is full of stories and gives us a clear idea that when difficult situation comes in our life, we sometimes feel victimized, while the feeling of indignation are natural, sometimes inevitable. We need to use our intelligence to remember that those situations don't determine our consciousness. Of course, we can't check the kind of emotion that the situation induces, but we can check how much we indulge in those emotions. Just as psychology, you can say physical wounds take time to heal, but they do heal in due course. Recently, I had a little cut and I realized that. So too do emotional wounds take time to heal, but they need to be allowed to heal. If we keep dwelling on feelings of resentment and helplessness, we perpetuate and aggravate the emotional wounds, thereby hurting ourselves far more than necessary. We need to take the consciousness a little more deeper, that we have to have a conscious decision to redirect our thoughts towards something higher in our life. And Bhakti Yoga, Krishna consciousness, offer us the highest and most potent object for redirecting our thoughts towards Krishna, the all-attractive Supreme Person. So when we take the decision to focus on Krishna, by the diligent practice of Krishna consciousness, Bhakti Yoga, we experience inner shelter and strength by which we can become purified and elevated and ultimately liberated from our material condition. So in today's topics, just to summarize that whatever situation we have, if we can be a little more, make more committed or make some commitment to our sadhana, to help others, other devotees, and make a serious commitment. Of course, serious commitment has to come from inner connection. It is not just because if we don't have inner connection, means if we don't have a good sadhana, chanting every day, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and hearing lectures, and honoring prasadam, if we have this inner daily sadhana very strong and little increasing within measurable, not going out of that you cannot maintain. Something voluntarily you have to choose, and if you keep on practicing your good sadhana, and then you will be able to have that inner connection, and then your commitment will not only increase your own spiritual purification, realization, inner connection, satisfaction, also you can help others. And if we don't have a good sadhana, from a practical point, I'm saying that then you are going to take advantage of Krishna consciousness to fulfill your own sense enjoyment. We should not become like a complacence, like a rocking chair, that you progress and kind of slacken and give up. It should be rather steady and do not step down. And if we ask that, well, we are in the material world, there is always challenge, and that's true, then we should remember that if we think like jumping over the world with all its problem and complication is the way to reach God. Some people think, yes, spiritualists don't want to get caught in this broken world. I agree. And if we rush into the world to impulsively enjoy its pleasure, or to presumptuously fix things on our own, we get also entangled. We see that. Still, God is not entirely separate from this world. We need to love Krishna in the world. I mentioned this many times because we daily practice and we see that. We need to love Krishna in the world. How we love Krishna in the world? The world comes from Krishna, is meant to serve as an arena for soul like us or me who are distant from Krishna to come closer to him. And this is what Prabhupada's, all these books are helping, the classes are helping, how Krishna is so concerned about this world that he personally descended as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repeatedly to establish this eternal dharma, nitya dharma. Eternal dharma, social, spiritual order by which people can ultimately move towards him. And he wants, Krishna wants his devotees, us, to assist in his mission for spiritualizing the world. And how we do that? First, we do our own sadhana and we help others to also do their own sadhana. More we hear, then we'll become selfless dedicator. It is necessary to come to that point. So we need to serve Krishna in the world by creating resources for engaging with the world in a way that spiritualizes human consciousness. Also, we need to love Krishna through the world. How? When we face the world challenges, we should face it with the purposefully. We develop and demonstrate the earnestness of our devotion. In the crucible of the world's challenge, our love for Krishna crystallizes from amorphous sentiment to resilient dedication. So we have to love Krishna with the world, wherever we are, New Orleans, New York, alachwa. Because Krishna conscious tradition declares that the world is meant to be offered to Krishna. I got this material body, I got this material mind, I got the material house, everything. Of course, one time Prabhupada says that you cannot offer Krishna anything material because he is spiritual. So then how do you offer anything, or how do you do anything? Well, everything belongs to Krishna. So when we establish that connection, it is for his pleasure. Ishavashyam idam sarvam jat kincha jagatam jagat. We are familiar with those Ishopanishad, Bhagavad Gita's verses. We should apply this in our life. And then the pure realization will come when our consciousness purifies. So Krishna consciousness declared the world is meant to be offered to Krishna. This means we work in a mood of worship, not taking advantage of Krishna's world for my own sense enjoyment. Using our best talent and resources for Krishna's service. In returning what is Krishna's to Krishna. Not in rejecting it as mundane. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur used to quote this, Bishoy bolia tege hoy mahabhul. If we cannot see the connection, we think that, oh, this thing will, of course, this thing will bind me. Of course, we have to have intelligence, what will bind, what will liberate us. But if anything is in front of us, we have to bring that connection. We have to bring pure devotee in our heart. Srila Prabhupada, our sincere, serious devotees, leaders, their presence, their teachings, and through their guidance, we can actually utilize everything that is in front of us. Not in rejecting it as a mundane. Our spirituality becomes whole and take us to the whole. So we will reach Krishna not by rejecting the world, but by loving him in the world, through the world, with the world. This is important. And when we do that, we can value our work based on, like in the material world, people work very hard and Friday they get a paycheck. So we often value our work in the material world on the paycheck it provides. Well, I don't know, in pandemic, probably they don't get a paycheck because nobody's working so much. But that's how the America based on Friday paycheck. The bigger the paycheck, the better the work. Such assessment is understandable because our mainstream culture is materialistic. So it teaches us that money is essential for us to get the things that will make us happy. Yes, we make a joke. I think Prabhupada said that money, 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 brighter than sun, sweeter than honey, for this beautiful song. Money is necessary for us to survive and to live comfortably. Still, money cannot our sole parameter of valuing our work. Why not? Because we are not sensual creatures. We need enjoyment. We are spiritual beings. We need fulfillment. And fulfillment rarely comes solely from money and the things money can buy. Then where does fulfillment come from? It comes from social contribution, psychological harmonization, devotional connection. Those are the key points. If we remember that our abilities are gifts from Krishna and are meant to be used in the mood of contribution, the service-centered vision can transform our work into a form of worship, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. And such work can provide the deepest fulfillment. Why? Because it harmonizes us, not just with our psychological nature, but also with our spiritual nature. That spiritual nature is to love in a loving connection with our Lord, who is the source of all happiness. So the bottom line is that we can assess our work not just based on its monetary value to provide enjoyment, but also based on its non-monetary value to provide fulfillment through social contribution, psychological harmonization, devotional connection. And that's what every ISKCON center does. We distribute prasadam. So much contribution we do. We do Harinam, we do book distribution, even in this pandemic. So much book distribution going on. We are selling over 108 sets of Lilamrita, even in Alachua. We're almost on that target right now. And devotees are always thinking how to please Prabhupada and Krishna. As Prabhupada translated in Bhagavad Gita, by worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings, who is all pervading, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. This is a beautiful Krishna's blessing to us. So I land here. If there is any question, comments, reflection.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for your wonderful class. So if there is any question at this point of time, please type it in the chat box, or you can also raise your hand. I'll unmute you. Okay, we have one question.
It's on the chat.
No, Mataji, you can go ahead.
Prāṇa Govinda, that's me. I'm here. Hello.
Hare Krishna, Madarina.
Krishna. I'm very happy to see you, and I had the ability partially to listen to what you're saying, and I'm actually very happy for you to share knowledge, and I really appreciate your service to community throughout the countries now. I have a question which related to very last phrase that you said about Prabhupada translating Bhagavad Gita, because we started reading Bhagavad Gita daily, and we noticed the differences between different translations, maybe not different translations, different editions. And some of our group members, they asked these questions, which, I don't have that ability to, explain or
I can't hear.
Mataji, somehow your sound is not coming.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. So why do we have a new edition of the book? And should it be the old edition that's old extended? That's the best. Actually, one of the devotees here in Savannah gave me this older version and say, hey, this is the right one, and just forget about the new one, almost like that. So that.
What is your question? Why?
Yes. Why do we have new edition of Bhagavad Gita, and which one should we use?
Mm-hmm. Well, Sripad Jayadetta Maharaj is, I don't know if he's in the audience still, but if not, I can send you an article. You can read why the editing was necessary. Because based on the Western audience, certain Sanskrit word was mistyped. Sometimes some words has to be connecting to the Western language. So many real good reason why some editing has to be done. Like a silliest joke, like peat tree. Peat tree is a forefather, but it sounds like a peat tree, one type of tree. So there's a whole article is written by Maharaj, and I can forward it to you. You have my WhatsApp. You can send me your email. I'll send it to you. Oh, I have your email, I think. Yeah, and then I can send you. You can read it, and then you can decide. You can see why. Thank you. You are unmute. You have to. Suman Prabhu, I cannot hear.
I know there is something with her. It's a problem on her end.
I'm on mute. I'm mute now. So Prāṇa Govinda, one more question related to your lecture. Social participation, do our best, see Krishna everywhere and serve that way. So does it imply that we still have to look for our personal mission in this society, what we are best to represent Krishna in the society? Or it's only through lecturing, through, serving prasadam, participating in meetings, or should we still find our mission?
Of course,
different.
We should find. Each of us has a particular mission, and as Krishna had a plan, and he wanted Arjuna to align with it. That's all. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, he is trying to fulfill the mission of his Guru Maharaj, and Krishna sent, and so many devotees came, and they're assisting Prabhupada. So when we come with wholeheartedly to assist Srila Prabhupada to fulfill his Guru Maharaj's mission, but first we have to know what is that mission. And then we can assess our own, where we are, how much can we do. We may have to go little extra mile to help Srila Prabhupada's movement. And if we don't push, each of us, if we don't push, this movement will not flourish. And it's required, it is plan of Krishna. Now another way to look at it, either you contribute or somebody else will contribute and take the credit. So from your side also, you should be greedy to like, okay, I want to do my part. I want to contribute my life. I want to dedicate and push this movement, what Prabhupada wants. This way, there has to be willingness, and also we should know the plan, what Prabhupada has for us. And then we can put it aligned, and then we can go on in spiritual path. As Prabhupada says, even recently, a few devotees were sick. Prabhupada gave a little plan. First thing in devotional path, take care of your health. Second is chant Hare Krishna. And third is engage some preaching service, devotional service. Fourth is read his books. But they're all important. It's not like first thing, second thing, okay, I can only do one. No, they're all important. Just like a child to grow healthy to a big girl or big boy needs food every day. The child needs food, but food alone is not enough. There has to be atmosphere where child can relate to other children. There's a playtime. Then child also need some education. Child cannot just grow without education. So mother, engage some teachings, lessons. Then child also, in order to remain healthy, has to breathe, well, which automatically happens, but make sure the child's body is healthy, growing. So many things involved. Even to grow a child, you can see the body has to be maintained. Child has to take bath every day. Child has to eat every day. Child has to study every day. So many things, little. Similarly, in the mission of Prabhupada, the movement has many components. They are all part of the one. The ISKCON means there's a preaching, there is a book distribution, there's a book publishing, book editing, writing, BTG articles. There's so many things. Namhatta preaching, there is a prasadam distribution. These are all part of the whole one mission. You can see your inclination, where I can fit. Maybe I like to cook. Maybe I like to preach. Maybe I like to distribute books. Wherever your natural inclination, you become part of the whole. Even though you may be not worshipping deities, but if you are distributing books, you are part of the whole. The deity worship is already part of the whole body. Just like a child has so many things needed. Just feeding the child is not enough. Child wants to have a playtime with other children, reaction. Child also wants to learn. So similarly, all these things are like a component of one mission. So more we understand this, and you'll see many sannyasis and spiritual leaders, they talk about it, how they are engaging everyone. So first we have to engage ourselves, then engage others also. First we have to participate more, then get dedicated, means initiated, then serve with that under guidance. We need always under guidance. That's why guru is required, senior devotee is required. Then as you grow a little more, then you engage your family member to be part of it. Then you open your own namhatta, like a house, briksha. Then when you grow a little bigger, you sub-branch, make a bhakti briksha, they call namhatta bhakti briksha. Make a different group in your hometown and be part of a core member. So like this, slowly it grows. And there will be, from this sadhana, inner connection, you will have a satisfaction, spiritual satisfaction. It's guaranteed. It is not just an idea, it is reality. So that's how social contribution is there. You are at home, you have a children, you have a son and daughter, and when you are practicing, they watch it. I see your son, he's a very bright boy, and he will also start chanting, right? He will love chanting, and he will feel some happiness with that. So grow slowly, but consistent. And if there is a doubt or anything, you can ask me or ask other devotees. You should not let the doubt linger. It should remove. Because Krishna consciousness, there is no doubt. Arjuna had a doubt, but ultimately when he came out of it, he became completely pure, perfect. So like this, we may have so many doubts in our progression, but our idea is to remove those doubts slowly, so we can progress steadily. If that makes sense? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, nice to see you. Good boy.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else has any question? Or Prabhuji, I actually got the link from Jayadvaita Maharaj website. Do you want me to share that?
Sure.
So this is Maharaj is mentioning why the Gita is being revised. So you have first edition, second edition, and the original manuscript. And each of this is being clearly explained in the BBT website. What are the changes and why the changes were made? So, like for each verse by verse, what were the changes that were implemented and the reason? The prime one being Prabhupada audio recordings were again read, and there were certain mistakes in the person who actually compiled it in those days. So Maharaj clearly writes all those. So if anyone is interested, I am just posting the link in the chat. You can read this. This is the BBT official link.
Can they download so they can read it later?
They have to go and see the website. In that
Okay.
it's there. Every chapter, every verse, why the changes are made and what was the basis for the change.
Wonderful. That will help them, sure.
Anyone else has any question? Prue, I have a small question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Does people who are like me, who are directly in contact with the material world a lot of time and not fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, as Prabhupada mentions in the verse, if I examine myself, I am in no way doing Niskama Karma Yoga. I'm not on the Nishkama platform. Still, like there are a lot of desires, there's a lot of Sakama tendency, and I can evaluate myself and find out. So, and I know many devotees, they also have this Sakama mood. So, does that means it is using Krishna? I mean, the aim is yes, I want to graduate to a platform where I'm fully engaged, but at the current situation, with all the tendencies and all the pollution in the heart and the commitments, it's more kind of sakama. So basically not putting Krishna at the center but yet using Krishna, means not exactly on the platform of totally loving Krishna but also using Krishna at many times. So I just wanted to clarify how can we, while dealing with the material world, yet not use Krishna at all the times? Or is my understanding wrong?
There is a one verse in Bhagavatam 11.20.27. When you have time, you can read that. It's a long purport. Svabhava Jato Shraddha Matkatasu Nirvinna Sarva Karmasu Veda Dukkha Atmakavan Kaman Paritik Apiyanishara. So in that verse 11.20.27.28, in that verse, it's very clearly, you will be surprised that Krishna knows what you are saying. He knows your heart. And he knows many devotees are like this, myself including. I had this strong, now by the mercy of Jadata Maharaj and many other senior devotees, their mercy is like pulling me out. But those strong desire is there. Sometimes we have a dilemma. I want to become pure devotee. I want to really become first-class dedicated soul in Prabhupada's movement. Then after a few days or few moments or few hours or something, actually I want to enjoy also, this part, maybe have a better house, maybe have a better car. I want to enjoy like, little luxury. I want to be devoted, but I want to also enjoy side by side. What's wrong? It's nothing wrong. It's like very difficult. And then get confused. It's like, am I doing wrong? Oh my God, I'm like thinking like a karmi. Oh no, I should become. It's like a very difficult. It's a dwindling. But Krishna is so kind. He says, which is true. I see also that those devotees, Jato Shraddha Matkatasu Nirvinna Sarva Karmasu, they have some faith in this process, in Krishna. They do. We do have faith. Maybe not strong faith, but has some faith. And what is the proof? That we don't take any advantage of other groups or other things, like give up Krishna consciousness for something else. No, we don't. We may fail, but we still stick around, hang around, what do you call? Coming every Sunday instead of full dedicated, making this life most precious way of achieving, not becoming a recipient of the mercy. Sometimes we want, sometimes we think like, no, it's okay, I'll go slowly, not so high speed or something. But Krishna says, Tato bhajeto mama prita sraddhalu dira nishchaya. Yes, I understand that you are failing. You are, wow, for 7 days I was chanting 64 rounds in Mayapur, was such a wonderful, and then come back to New York or come back to Alachua and go back to work and just hardly can maintain 16 rounds even. So hard. Hardly can maintain 16 rounds. So you feel like, oh, why is like this? Well, that sloka answers. Maybe you can read it loud.
Having awakened faith in the narrations of my glories, being disgusted with all material activities, knowing that all sense gratification leads to misery, but still being unable to renounce all sense enjoyment, my devotee should remain happy and worship me with great faith and conviction. Even though he is sometimes engaged in sense enjoyment, my devotee knows that all sense gratification leads to a miserable result, and he sincerely repents such activities.
And later on, you can go on a few more sloka where it explains on that if you keep on some or other, even if you're tumbling, get up and go. Be resilient. In Bible, I was told that Bible has a definition of what is the difference between the devil and the saint. It says that both can fall, but one who stays fallen is a devil, and the saint may fall, but he gets up and going. Krishna said the same thing in Bhagavad Gita. Opichetu sudrachara bhajate mamanandava, 930, that's very famous verse. The Kipram Bhavati Dharmatma, that they should not be considered anything less than a saintly. Why? Because they have a fixed goal. Even they fail or some accidentally something happened, but they do not deviate from their goal. They keep on going. We see even in our movement, some devotee, even a good friend of mine from Toronto, that he was away for 20 years. He wanted to explore the material enjoyment. He felt like he missed that. Then after 20 years, now he's back and he's full speed preaching. And he went to India. He's a Canadian buddy, but he's like this. So we see that this sloka, what Krishna is saying, that okay, they will come back, they will not go, they will not take any other process, because there is no other process. Bhakti is the only solution. So Krishna says, if you keep on growing, eventually you will come to that pure platform. But you have to keep on going. So few things we can do in that case. Have a good association of sincere, serious devotee, those who have transcended our life right now. Two purposes. One is to transcend ourselves through bhakti, also to transform our situation, our family, our friends, job, whatever. Both has to be there. We need to transcend the three modes, also transform the area or the world we are in. If we keep on going, even we have all these up down, eventually will be success. Srila Prabhupada says in Jatayu's case, materially maybe he failed, you can say. He could not really protect Sita. But did he fail spiritually? No. He succeeded. So only thing we can do, in Arjuna's case also Krishna says, just endeavor. You know, one of my good friend, that devotee reminded today, said, yeah, that discussion was very nice. When Jayadratha was involved in this Buha plan to kill Abhimanyu. And when Arjuna came to know, because Arjuna was not there, did not even know until Abhimanyu was completely killed, he became so angry that he took a vow that he's going to kill Jayadratha before next day sunrise, sunset. Before sunset, he's going to kill. Krishna, knowing this, that this is a extreme, out of anger, Arjuna took it. So one good thing came out from this for us, we can learn. That even you know that Mahabharata, how next day actually sun is about to set. Sun is almost set, but Arjuna could not kill Jayadratha. But he had a strong faith in Krishna. When Krishna confronted him, that you took such a serious vow, how do you know that this will happen? This is a tremendous vow. Like imagine you take a vow, by tomorrow I'll become pure devotee. Well, that's like a heavy duty. I mean, it's possible, but it's like a heavy. Arjuna's case also. But Arjuna answered to Krishna, to that question when Krishna asked. He says, yes, you know my power. That Arjuna doesn't have much power. But Arjuna says, I know your power. Together, we can make it success. The same principle, on our own, we cannot progress too much. But we have to endeavor with the blessing of senior devotees, with the blessing of Prabhupada, Krishna, and those senior devotees. If we can hold on to their blessing, but we also have to act. Arjuna was acting. Arjuna was not sitting in a chariot. Okay, Krishna, you are God, you can just kill Jayadratha. Please do it. No, that was not what Arjuna did. Arjuna said, you know my power, I know your power. I'll do my job, and you can do yours. So we need the blessing and our endeavor. Together we can conquer. Yes, we can conquer material nature. We're not interested to fight with Maya. We are interested to serve Krishna. And Krishna can defeat Maya for us. It makes sense? Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hare Krishna, Prāṇa Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mother Anastasia. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good, good to see you.
Inviting us, letting us know about your lecture. So one of the questions I had is, so we pray for Krishna to be like a tool in his hands, right? And what about those people who don't really know about God at all? And they don't pray, of course, to be like, tools in his hands. But if everything is controlled by Krishna and everything are Krishna Leelas, so everyone is participating in it, even if they don't really want to. Is that right?
You're asking two questions together, looks like. Yes, in Chaitanya Charitamrita it says, Shangsa Vivinnangsa Rupe Hoya Vistar, means Krishna is performing Leela under internal potency and through external potency. So in one sense, everybody is in Krishna's Leela. But under whose guidance, whose potency that Leela is happening, the experience is big difference. So our goal is to be in Krishna's pastimes, but under internal potency, and to have that access, we have to come back to our origin, servant position, servitorship. And two things we can, by two things we can develop that. One is taking subordination, means we accept an authority under whose guidance we want to serve. And second is engagement in devotional service. If we do these two things, then we can get out of the material nature by the mercy of Bhakti and Krishna and Prabhupada, and then we'll be in the internal. Now the other question you added with it, that most of the people in this world don't even know how they will know. That's our service. We become instrument of Prabhupada's movement, Prabhupada and Krishna, and we need to give them that access. There is a gradual progress that you invite them or give them book or some prasadam, their spiritual life began. Now some of them, we don't have to impose pressure on them, but some of them will show interest. Then we can invite them for the festivals, for some programs like this more. Say, there is no ratio, but say 10 people you met, maybe one will be interested to know what you do in your day-to-day practice. You can invite them to on the Zoom class or chanting class like this. And out of them, some of them will be more advanced. Well, I want to participate more. Well, they will be initiated. And then they will be participating more. Then they will have their own group once they are educated in this path. They have taken shelter of a senior devotee in our movement. And then they will have their own Namattu group and they will become core members. So gradually, slowly, everybody has to come up step by step and go. And we are instrument of the movement in a sense that we want to help according to each person's eligibility. Not the first person we met, okay, from tomorrow you start chanting 60 nouns. Prabhupada did because he had a tremendous power. He did to Vasudev Prabhu in Fiji. First time Prabhupada went to his house to stay in his house, and he asked him if he chants Hare Krishna. He said no. He said, from tomorrow you chant 60 nouns. And he started 60 nouns from next day. But I don't know, in practically, we are not, I mean, I'm not at all any power. I'm just depending on the mercy, but we can endeavor, try to engage them to chant at least 1 round, 2 rounds, 5 rounds, 10 rounds. And I see devotees in New Orleans, they have a japa session. I join on Ekadashi day, like tomorrow is Ekadashi day. You can see them. There are few new, Jason, one name, and I forgot the other two. They just new, but they love to join and chant with the devotees. So it's happening. So like this, you can participate a japa session in your place in Savannah. Every day make a 1 hour japa session or half an hour japa session. Everybody can participate and you can chant all together. In the beginning, Prabhupada's chanting, and then end of Prabhupada's chanting, and then they can share their experience, how they felt, if it is helping. And then if they have a question, answer, they can always, you can always find the answer of the question they have. This way you can engage them. While you are progressing, they are also coming along. I hope that helps.
Yes, very much. Thank you so much. May I ask one more question?
Sure.
Could you please share, if possible, how do you personally manage to control your mind when you chant?
How do I control what?
Manage to control your mind when you chant.
Oh, I don't know if I control my mind. I try to serve the holy name. The service attitude is the #1 key to me. The service attitude. We are not just forcing. Prabhupada said this japa is forced meditation. The word forced meditation means you have to be willing to force yourself to serve in that, because your mind is going to destruct. There is never a chance that you can trust mind. This is what I heard from Prabhupada. Never a chance you can trust mind. But if we are focused, try not to be distracted, then Krishna will help. Holy name will help to serve holy name. And also 5 things, one lecture Prabhupada said, 5 things if you can do, you can actually help yourself. Get up early morning. Get up early morning, not late. I'm not saying you have to act like me. I could not do when I was in business world. Last 5-6 years is very healthy. We get up at 2 o'clock. You can finish 16 rounds before Mangalarti. Then before Guru Puja, another 16 rounds. But if you want to chant at least 16 rounds, get up in the morning. It's the best thing. You don't have to get up 2 o'clock, but you get up at 4 o'clock or 3:30. It's built a habit. I remember I used to enjoy sleep, but there is a time when you really want to wake up, you don't want, then you will not like sleep anymore. That change has to take place. If you practice on getting up early morning and chant your rounds, finish your rounds, is the best thing. So that's one thing Prabhupada said. Second thing he says, make sure you do not eat anything without offering to the Lord. Never eat anything, non-prasad. Third things, that you every day you chant. Every day you chant. Not like, what's the difference? One day I didn't chant, I was sick for 3 days, I didn't chant. What's the difference? That's the mind tricks. Because when we chant, our subtle body is changing. We cannot see. But through the physical, we don't see any difference. But in subtle body is changing. Subtle body is the one causing us transmigration, not the physical body. But we cannot see, but mind will trick you. Don't worry, it's okay. No, it's not okay. That's called spiritual sickness, if we cannot chant. So third. Fourth is, we must hear a class or read every day. Every day. These are compulsory. You must. And after reading and hearing, also you write your own realization. What you understood today, make your realization. If you do this, one lecture Prabhupada said, Maya will not touch you. Because this is something we are trying to do every day, and some or other it works. Not on our own, but we try, and Krishna Prabhupada helps us, and it's working very well. I hope that helps you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees. We are already off time, and
Oh my God.
I don't want to take further time of all of you. So next week we have His Holiness Bhakti Prabhava Swami joining us from Europe, and followed by Praladananda Maharaj on 11th of November. Thank you. Stay tuned. And this lecture is being recorded and is available on ISKCON New York TV. And I've shared the link in the chat box. Thank you. Prabhuji, do you want to say anything else?
Yes, I would like to pay my respect and obeisances to all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavis. Pancha kalpatarvishya. Kripa sindhuvaya vacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining this Sunday Feast lecture. Meet you next week at the same time.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.